When you're not meant to be with someone, God won't whisper it softly, He'll tear away your peace. That's the first sign, and you'll feel it deep in your spirit, even when everything on the outside looks perfect. You'll sense something off, a quiet unease that grows louder every time you try to convince yourself, maybe it'll work out. That's not confusion, it's divine resistance. The Holy Spirit doesn't argue, He withdraws. You'll notice your prayer life feels dry, your joy fading like light behind thick clouds. No matter how much you try to force the connection, the relationship starts feeling heavy. That's God saying, this is not your assignment. Because what's not aligned with your destiny will always drain you. You might even catch yourself losing focus on your purpose, compromising your values, or silencing that inner conviction just to keep their approval. That's not love, it's bondage. Remember 2 Corinthians 6 verse 14, what fellowship has light with darkness? When God doesn't want you with someone, He'll let tension rise over little things. Not to destroy you, but to expose truth. You'll start to see their true character, not in moments of peace, but in moments of pressure. The mask will slip. Words will cut. Patience will vanish. It's God's mercy, not punishment. He reveals what you refused to see when your heart was blinded by attachment. Sometimes, the person you want most is the one keeping you from the person you're meant to become. The enemy loves to send distractions dressed as destiny, people who feel perfect but secretly pull you off course. You'll notice how your spirit grows restless after spending time with them, how you walk away feeling smaller, unseen, or distant from God. That's not chemistry, that's spiritual conflict. Romans 8 verse 6 says, the mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace. If you lose peace, you lose alignment. God will allow little storms to shake what's not built on His foundation. Misunderstandings, distance, miscommunication, it'll seem like everything is falling apart. But it's actually falling into place. Every unanswered text, every argument that feels circular, every door that closes is His hand of protection disguised as rejection. You might cry, you might feel abandoned, but heaven's silence is sometimes God's loudest no. And you'll see this pattern, He'll block every attempt to make it work. Plans will fall through, timing will never line up, one of you will always be almost ready. That's not coincidence, it's divine interruption. Because God knows if He allowed it, you'd end up worshiping the connection instead of Him. So He removes the idol before it destroys your peace. Think of Abraham and Isaac, God tested him to see if he'd give up the thing he loved most. Sometimes, your Isaac is that relationship. The question is, will you surrender it? When God doesn't want you with someone, He won't just take them away, He'll remove the version of you that needed them. You'll feel stripped, yes, but also strangely free. The nights of crying will give birth to mornings of clarity. You'll stop asking, why did they leave, and start realizing, why did I stay so long? Because when God subtracts, He's preparing to multiply. But here's the hardest truth, you'll only see His purpose once you stop chasing closure. You keep trying to explain, fix, or prove something that was never blessed in the first place. That person was a classroom, not a covenant. They were meant to teach you boundaries, discernment, and self-worth. And the moment you stop fighting God's no, He'll open doors you never knew existed. Proverbs 19 verse 21 reminds us, many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. You may have planned a future with them, but God saw the future beyond them. He's not punishing you, He's protecting your purpose. Every rejection, every ghosting, every cold goodbye is actually divine redirection. You weren't meant to beg for love, you were meant to reflect it. And maybe you've been asking, why do I still think about them? Because God isn't done healing you yet. He's cleansing your heart of everything that entered through the wrong door. You can't build a holy life on unholy ties. Soul ties are real. When you give emotional, physical, or spiritual access to someone outside God's will, you form bonds that cloud discernment. That's why even after walking away, you still feel attached. But here's the secret: deliverance doesn't start when they leave, it starts when you stop rehearsing the past. Let it go. You can't receive new grace with your hands full of old pain. Isaiah 43 verse 18 says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing." And that new thing won't come until you release what's no longer carrying God's presence. Now pause. If this word has been piercing your spirit, it's not by accident. You were meant to hear this. Maybe you're right at the edge of letting someone go but fear being alone. But listen, loneliness is better than bondage. Waiting is better than wandering. God doesn't withhold people, He filters them. He's not being cruel, He's being careful with your destiny. Some of you are crying over what He's already replaced in heaven's timeline. And if this message has stirred something inside you, if you've felt that divine nudge in your chest as you listen, then don't scroll past this moment. Let this be your confirmation. Take a second to breathe, lift your head, and remember, you're not losing them, you're returning to yourself. Broken heart fire. Folded hands if you're feeling this truth. If it hit something deep, pause right now. Don't rush. Whisper a prayer: Lord, if it's not from you, remove it, even if it hurts. That's the prayer that shifts everything. That's the prayer of surrender. And while you're here, if this message spoke life into you, if it helped you see your situation differently, take this as your moment to stand in agreement with others. Speech balloon: drop a comment like "I'm letting go" or "I receive this." Raising hands like this video if it resonated in your spirit, because every time you do, it helps more people in pain find the same healing you're finding right now. Red heart and subscribe, not just to follow content, but to stay connected to words that keep your spirit anchored when life tries to pull you away. Every video here isn't entertainment, it's warfare, it's reminder, it's healing for chosen ones who refuse to settle for less than what God ordained. Now breathe again. Let peace return. Remember, when God doesn't want you with someone, He'll never allow peace in what was meant to end. So if you feel restless, misaligned, or exhausted trying to hold it together, stop fighting the divine flow. His no is never rejection, it's redirection toward a love that won't cost you your peace. The person you lost might have been your plan, but they were never your promise. And when you finally release what's not from God, He'll send someone who won't just meet your heart, they'll match your spirit. Wait for that. Because in His time, you'll understand why it had to end, and you'll thank Him for every unanswered prayer that protected your destiny. Dove.